So, yes, if it was an innocent person that was up for execution, of course, Poser would be heavily against it and probably trying to do everything that he could. He's a criminal. And this is kind of a lawless world right now, and Darga is making the laws.
Yes, very, very in need of people doing the right thing, wouldn't you say? Light side points for saving his life. Dark side points for letting him die. Is it that cut and dry? No, I'm not saying it's that cut and dry. But it is my job to warn you that the room is taking a dark turn. And we could look up, force points and how they're earned and gained. And I'm telling you, it's in there. Standing there and doing fuck all, especially if you're a force user, gets you dark side points.
Fair enough.
However,
I don't see how we could do much to involve ourselves here without getting shot to hell.
I think at this point, Poser would, obviously seeing what's happening, getting a feel for the room, is just going to turn to Rahal and be like, where are our quarters?
I didn't see nothing, no dark side point for me. If I'm not here, if I could leave the room before this shit happens. Well,
less of that, it's more of condemning the actions.
I'll give you guys this. If Poser wasn't in the room, our primary force user, then yeah, this would play out, and then we talk about consequences. But because the force user always has that jump, that I sense this coming type of thing, this is why I'm picking on Aiden out of the gate. What happens next is quite interesting. So there he is on the ground. Boo-hoo. Right? And TC's like, no, you had this coming. I'm telling you, your pudding's disgusting. It's absolutely vile. You knew this was coming. These guys are just sort of the final straw. And motioning at you guys, Darga lifts a hand. Baruja. And everyone stops, halting your conversation amongst yourselves, and you're muttering. What a wonga. Like he gets this idea. And tells the droid to translate, which you guys already know. Yeah.
Let's let our new guests handle things.
Very well, my lord. And TC shuffles forward. Would you care to do the honors? You're all bristling with weapons. See what you got.
Then Rahal just looks over at Merrick, and smiles, and then does the whole acquiescent bow. Like, there you go. Told you to be patient.
I'm sorry. Look up, look. I'll write you up that DP right now.
Merrick walks by the droid, pushes him aside.
Yeah. Okay.
Not very nice, like.
Hey.
Oh, I walk up to the groveling man. Yeah,
not my fault.
And Merrick's.
You like pudding?
You see the expression, the big face behind me? That's the one that Merrick's wearing.
Big grin. Yeah, it's time to play.
Evil eyes, big grin.
Yeah.
Okay. Merrick is approaching the victim. Rahal gave him the nod. Poser goes over to Rahal and goes, so where's my room? Talk to the left. What are you doing, buddy?
At the moment, trying to think of a clean way to get out of this. Is there perhaps... I'd assume... And tapping on Rahal and speaking... I'm currently behind him, so I just kind of lean forward. And I would assume that as we've been left in charge of him, we don't necessarily need to kill him. What about having him make use of him? If we must punish him, we could simply make use of him in capacity that is clearly below his station. Menial labor.
Surely we have a knowledge skill. Isn't there like a social...
Knowledge, social
how
science?
People think? social sciences would reveal kind of what I've already said. You know what I mean? I'd like a roll of social science from anybody that actually has it, please. To either happily, bilk the low roll or go with the high.
22.
15.
5.
That's it. There's a good... Yeah, better get that drink while everybody's distracted. That craft's not going to empty itself, buddy. No one will see you.
That's right. I pull a grenade. I'll redecorate.
My implication was more of a question than a suggestion, as that is indeed actually one of the skills that I'm currently working towards.
Play good, play bad, play nice, play dirty, play smart. But it is the rebellion era. There is no redeeming light side to get dark side points wiped. You have your whole wisdom score of dark side points teed up before your character becomes mine. Because even if you're not a force user, if you go full dark, you're kind of like out. Your guy becomes an NPC, and I just get to hey, no more Darga, more.
So again, leaning towards Rahal's back and speaking from basically behind him, asking, there certainly must be something we could have him do, menial labor or something like that.
Actually, Rahal, I have an idea.
Step.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah, make it quick.
Well, instead of executing him, we put on a show for Darga. A fight to the death, or at least to incapacitation, and if Raiden wins, he wins his freedom. If not, he dies.
That's clever. He's promising lots of violence drawn out. That's actually very good.
Drawn out violence, pain.
It's an interesting suggestion, Poser.
Please, talk amongst yourselves. But every time I talk, Merrick is frozen in time. When you guys talk...
Step.
I do believe that may be our best option at this point, Rahal.
Right. Hey, Merrick.
Step. And the hand is just about to reach.
Yes, hello?
What do you say we give Mr. Warwick there a fighting chance? Hand-to-hand combat.
Sounds good.
A duel to incapacitation or death.
Either way, same results. Warwick, stand up! Unja!
My lord wants to know what you're doing. What's the delay? You're talking to about each other. You're not sort of like turn to the court going, hey, this is what we want to do. So
turning to Darga, I bow really low again. Forgive me, your eminence, but as we is here for your entertainment, my large friend Merrick over here figures he could give you a bit of a show of it. We'll have the puny little Warwick there wrestle our giant Merrick over here, a fight to death or incapacitation. If Warwick somehow manages to pull it off, he gets to live another day. If Merrick gets to pull it off...
I get to pull it off.
What he said.
You know the best part about intrigue and spy movies? When they give you exactly what you asked for, and it's too easy, and they add a little something.
Why not? Sounds good. Want to see big man fight.
My lord was actually very interesting in seeing the combat capability of your large friend. And Warwick? Yes, I believe... My lord? Yes, both men shall do very well in our gladiator ring. Implying they actually have gladiator matches and they have a ring to carry it out in. So anyway, all of a sudden there's like a bunch of guys, the mercs and stuff in the corners are all like, it's fight night, yeah, Sunday, yeah, Thursday just became Sunday, yeah.
It's a Sunday on a Monday.
Suddenly the whole place just becomes a buzz. with like people doing this and that and blah blah blah, and some guards come up and like, you know, this way Gladiator Merrick, this way prisoner Gladiator Warwick, kind of thing, you know, blah blah blah, right? The divan is lifted, and there's like a couple Gormorians, like, you know, they just keep adding guys. They get the tail end up and a bunch more guys, and he's throwing his drink on them and stuff. And by the time you guys get down there, changed around and out in the ring, it's the time that they finally get this sort
I'll
of...
throw a med pack over to Dr. Leth and tell him to make sure Merrick's in top fighting form.
Give him
Get
the
this
juice.
divan up. Turned 180 and out on the balcony, where you guys are obviously like, the crowd is swooned and you guys are welcome to like join on the balcony, which looks down to an arena. Oberys tossing Leth the med pack. Merrick's being led away. You follow?
Oh, of course.
No, I mean like Leth to apply the med pack. Merrick's already being led off, so Leth, you got to chase him down to the locker room, as it were.
I would indeed follow after him.
Okay.
Yeah, this takes me back to old times.
Yeah.
You know, it's been many years since Merrick has fought in arena.
Oh, when was the last time you were on a formal match?
A year before I met Ral.
Please, go ahead and tell me the story, as I'm slowly, like, pulling out the needles and...
Yeah, I know. Like, meanwhile, down the
Dropping
locker
his
room,
trout.
like,
Tell me all about it.
Merrick, the guards are like poking at you, like, no, not this. Yes, this gun. No, this weapon. That, you know, back at they're kind of setting you up. You know, give you some unnecessary belts with spikes on them to kind of gladiate you up a bit. You know, the Doomsday football helmet.
They essentially just take my current equipment and Mad Max it.
Yeah, but pretty much. They just got to dress you up. Add a couple of appendages, some interesting stuff, you know. Or, you know, there's a whole rack of melee weapons that just look like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Merrick goes over and tells Leth, "I'm listening."
That's 5 minutes right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This takes me
Back.
But
Leth is going on stuff and pulling out the med pack and, you know, juicing up. So, Leth, let's have that roll. Med pack, DC 15 plus.
And so they're halfway through the combat. His arm fell right out of the socket. So, of course, I beat him with it. And after I beat him with that,
Dr. Leth, poking with the needles.
I told you, never poke me there!
27, so you heal... I believe that would be 12 hit points. Oh, 12 plus your level.
Oh, nice.
Which is...
I have told you to not touch me there.
So Merrick gets 15 hit points back?
Yes.
All right. I got you 27 there, Merrick. So another 15 brings you up to 42.
Nice.
And what's your total? What's supposed to be?
49.
40. Yeah. Oh, so you're not bad.
I'm a healthy boy.
Now, the arena looks like it's multi-purpose. There's a bit of a dirt track worn into the oval. Okay. Picture a large dirt area, perfectly square for starters. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Imagine
We're talking
a dark gym.
Good. This is outside, by the way, out in the open air. Though there's large buildings and stuff, and like no escape, and tall walls and stuff, and guards around. Like
It's like they went to Paramount and stole the set that Captain Kirk fought the lizard dude in.
Something like that.
Identical.
Those big rocks that are lying around, you know, look like they could be foam, but nope, they're solid. Some rocks are like 1 square, you know, 10 feet. They're scattered huge boulders to like make some kind of cover obstacles. There's a worn-in track that looks like maybe the rocks could be driven around or come around. Like there's just sort of that sort of speeder dirt whip up in the oval part. Okay, so you have a big square and then overlay an oval over top of it to make the top and the bottom stick out in that round undulage. Over here, do you guys see this faint rectangle that's in the dirt?
Uh-huh.
That represents the balcony that's up above where you guys and Darga are looking down. 2 exits, one with stairs, and one's just kind of a cubby. And like I said, by the time they get Darga around in position and sat down, we've got Leth down in the locker room, and Leth, there's like bars and windows and stuff down here where you could just watch from down here and be close if you wish to give aid, or you want to go back upstairs.
I would go back upstairs. At this point, there's not much I can do.
Okay. Poser was interested in leaving in rooms, but this all suddenly played out really quickly. What do you want to do?
going to be behind Rahal and ask where are our rooms. I don't want to play a part of this barbarianism, if possible.
Oh, are we the classy one? You remember that throne room we was in before? Take the
Yes.
south exit from there. It'll lead you down. Our room's at the end of the hall.
Got it. Give me when you're done. And I will turn, walk off.
Couple of Nico and Gamorreans just fall in line with you.
Okay.
Some get in front. They show you.
Okay.
Like an honor guy. They show you where it is. And large, empty hallway with carpeting, 6 rooms, all 20 by 20. I would say it's opulent, but it's big, it's spacious.
Yeah,
Bunch of rooms, You guys kind of have your pick of them down there. They kind of show you an empty hallway, and they just kind of motion like pick a room, and pick out. A room,
okay. So
it's got
we
a bed and
get
a little
separate
table.
rooms?
And, yeah.
Oh, okay.
6 rooms, all double doors, huge. I'll show you the map in a uno momento here.
Yeah, no, I saw it earlier. So yeah,
okay.
I got you. I guess I'll find whichever one Rahal is in, and then I'll take the one like next to it if it's unoccupied. Because I'm not sure if Merrick is going to be staying with Rahal or not.
Okay,
So.
no problem. Merrick and Warwick are marched out into the dirt track and lined up.
How much of my equipment do I get to keep?
We'll get to that because without any formal, for dying for glory for anything, the deal was kind of struck upstairs. We know we're here to punish Warwick. We'll make a good show of it. Darga said he'd like to see how Merrick can fight. And like I said, without much ceremony, as soon as you guys all appear and are sort of like ready to go, TC 663 says, "My lord wishes you to roll for initiative."
Nice.
Excellent.
Merrick the Mercenary is getting his Doomsday Mad Max spiky gear on. Going to be in a gladiator match, mano a mano, versus the Devorian Warwick Raiden, who luckily they just gave him a change of clothes because he soiled his last pair, and they set him up with his spiky club and his little gun and a couple of balls. He's not sure what to do with those. Think about it.
Ha ha ha.
Dr. Leth was just going over some things with Merrick, checking health, and will return topside later. So now the scene, let's go back upstairs to Darga the Hutt, who is sitting pretty over this balcony, overlooking the actual event to come. Very excited. Rahal
Yes.
and Zin. Excitement's in the air, tense, and you both smell the opportunity to make credits.
Always looking for credits. So, Zin, my friend, do me a favor. Keep your eyes out there in the balcony. See if you can find someone who's an easy mark, you see. Because I got an idea to maybe pat our pockets a bit while we're doing this. Let me tell you a bit about how this works. You see, anytime we happen to stumble upon one of these so-called wretched hives, we may get the opportunity to place a wager or two in various games of chance or betting arenas, be it a race or a game of sabacc or maybe some jubilee. There's a few things we can do to try and enhance our financial situation. You see, I always look for the easy mark. Somebody who's not as, let's say, wise to the situation as others may be. And I pit my, obviously, overly endowed wisdom against their, hopefully, minuscule wisdom in a game of chance.
All right, so let's look out there and find the rubes, so to speak.
Exactly, my friend, exactly. You see, depending on how much better my wisdom does than theirs, can greatly affect the outcome of the game.
A very eager Hutt rubbing his hands and calling forth 6-6. He actually calls the droid by name, but he's not there. He actually was showing Poser to his room. As if noticing that he's not being attended for the first time, he looks around, but he's not looking for 6-6. He just kind of looks over his shoulder and bellows another name.
Ignore! Ignore!
Igren Demos is the translation in Huttese. A unusual, red, glowing-eyed, tall, slim alien approaches from the shadows. You summoned me, my lord?
Ignore! Odana skuna!
A few matters that are below your attention, Great Darga, he says with a sweeping bow, and his robes kind of like fall forward, the scarf and appendage kind of thing. The hood kind of leans to one side. His clothes seem a little bit bigger than the man and sort of shift as he moves. Just kind of Heralps looks him over. And then back to you guys. Eagerly waiting, anticipating the arrival of the gladiators. Then his eyes narrow, and he looks sideways at Rawl and Zin.
Una scuda ratugia, una glatoria on major bodaga.
He starts going on about his made-up gladiator ring that you're now overlooking, and how he's been training gladiators himself. Now, we just have Warwick and Merrick, but he's like just conveniently has a gladiator pit. Now he starts going on about his actual gladiators. How he trains them and ships off his best guys to the planet of Retek. Can I have a galactic lore, gentlemen?
Shoily. Ooh. Galactic lore of 5.
Retek? Sorry, Retek?
Yeah, never heard of the place.
Zin?
Out of 17.
All right, Zin. Can you tell us what a brief what you might know about Retek?
Well, last time I read up on it, mountainous planet, way out in the middle of nowhere, in the Outer Rim territories. A couple of key battles there. Nothing really of note, though.
It's located out in the Outer Rim, and you do know it has sort of a scum and villainy rep where, you know, gladiator sports is like this big sport event on the planet, and gladiators are shipped there from their legit and not so legit, you know, masters from all over the Outer Rim territories.
You know,
So-
like a lot of planets that are out in the middle of nowhere, out from under the Imperial eye. Games of chance tend to grow up, racing, betting, fighting. It's in our nature.
Darga seems very proud. Like naming this planet or naming the actual gladiatorial event that he's putting them in is like saying, I send my guys to the Super Bowl every year. You know, he's just puffing up and bragging about this. Can I have a perception check from you guys?
23.
Got a 10.
He's busy whispering in his ear, you know, this and this and this and this. And anyway, since Zin's, you know, filling you in on the details of the planet and Darga's savoring moments and then going on and on about them, you kind of see where this is going, Matt. He's going to build up his guys, and then he's probably going to goad you into like a wager with them, or, you know, trying to fish out your interest, see if he can see if you're interested in backing him on them, or, you know, that kind of thing. There's a couple of ways. This sounds like the beginning of a business negotiation or a trap. Anyway, so noted. I didn't have to act on this, but
Probably a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
yeah, well, that depends on the players. If you know, take the bait, or, you know, how this goes down. But now, Merrick, if you wouldn't mind rolling for initiative,
17.
we get that point where TC66 returns and demands initiative from Merrick.
Ooh, fancy.
And Egan just passively stands on the other side next to his lord and just kind of looks at you guys sideways, eyeballing you up and down. And we were going to shift the scene to the actual gladiatorial arena. Yes, we're at one far end. We see Raiden, his little spiky belt and over-the-shoulder spikes, given a couple of tools that he's kind of clutching in his arms and holding, as opposed to like have been given holsters to, like, you know, wear them kind of thing. And at the far end, you know, pointed and marching out, much larger, but still only managing to fill one square. It's Margus. It's amazing how you stuff, you know, one guy into one square.
It's a skill.
So, panning out as much as we can. No measuring till it's your turn. He's like checking all kinds of ranges. You see the cyber eye pops up, flips over. Was it the Ockle, the old steampunk Ockle? Because they have like we're talking Mad Max technology they covered you in.
Not too bad.
Anyway, is anyone concerned about any kind of rules? Darga doesn't seem to be talking about any kind of like safe word. No one's talking cinnamon yet. What the terms are, how this works. Any concerns you might have for losing your bodyguard on a stray shot?
Yeah,
there?
well, I'll wait till we're all in and on the balcony and settled in, and strike up some strike up a casual conversation with the newest addition to Darga's entourage, the red-eyed strange alien.
Okay.
So just, we'll get up in place, and I'll kind of mosey up and stand beside him, do the whole kind of leaning over while watching the arena. So maybe anything I should know about this event? Any rules? Anything that maybe I should let my man know down there so we don't get ourselves into any trouble?
Rules?
Yeah, what kind of weapons, if there's a time limit, to the death or to the near death, and let Darga decide. I've been to all sorts of these kinds of places, and they all have their own little twerks.
I see. He just kind of like leans out, does that chin look down, and says, well, both combatants seem sufficiently armed to me. As for the rules, and he just kind of like, my lord, were there any special stipulations to this combat? Forgive me for asking, but and he looks at you like he's covering for you, and it's almost like a hint. Can I have perception?
28.
You should probably direct questions straight to the king, as it were, to walk past him and ignore him. Now that you've been sort of granted direct access to talk to him through TC is almost rude. Not quite, because you were just kind of quietly leaning in and talking to the guy. Goes, there any side, any rules I should know? That's fine. And I understand why you wouldn't lean into the king and go, hey, what about patching up my guy? Or so that's cool. But for future, like I said, you get this big hint from him where he looks over and he says, my lord, any stipulations to this particular combat? Forgive me, but I've joined the party late. And he looks at you and back at Darga. Strong hint given. He's basically like, well, looks right at Rahal. Do you doubt your guy?
I wait for the translation.
Okay. My lord is concerned that you might be concerned about the concerns in the pit that perhaps your guy isn't up to snuff, couldn't deal out proper punishment. I mean, look at him. He's pointing at Warwick, who's like literally shaking in his boots. He can't even manage a decent pudding. You really expect him to survive this? Though I suppose it depends on how long? Right? And then the hut starts nodding. Like, that's an interesting idea. And then everybody looks back to you.
I bow low in acquiescence. Terribly sorry. It's not that I'm concerned for my man. I'm just trying to make sure that Your Eminence is adequately entertained by today's sports.
The chin stroking starts.
Mana over quick to quick. Wager on how long Warwick lasted?
So as soon as he mentions wager, unconsciously, Rahal's hands start doing the dry wash. The Mr. Burns. Yes, excellent, Oh, now you're speaking my language. Let's see. How about this? I'll give Warwick 3 rounds. And I'll wager, let's keep it tight. I'll wager 100 credits that says Warwick don't last longer than 3 rounds.
He could run a little while. Is it unpolite to bet against the house? Oh, 5. And match your bet.
Oh. Kind of pointing at Zin. He likes the fact that he's betting against his own company. It's like he's not even in the bet yet. You guys start betting against each other. So you say he's going to drop him by the end of round 3. And Zin's like, nope, I'll go against you, boss. 5. Darga thinks this is awesome. He's like,
I think Warwick's going to run. It's going to take a while.
Look at those legs. Those bandy legs are going to keep him alive.
Yeah, that Warwick guy's a bit squirrely. But you've seen Merrick fight. I wouldn't be too surprised if it was over in 1, but I was giving Warwick the benefit of the doubt. He spits on his hand and holds it out to Zin. I'll take that bet.
Deal. Shake his hand.
How much?
Oh, are you betting, boys? And Darga asks you guys, my lord would like to know, curious about your private wager. To what end, to what credits are you gentlemen betting?
Nothing serious, Your Eminence. Just 100 credits. Just to, dip the toes in the pool, so to speak.
He looks at you guys flatly, obviously disappointed. And then again, the sly grin.
Oh, no balls, all ins, I'll make a wager,
My lord would offer you a wager of 500 credits. That work lasts more than 3. Basically, it kind of he finds it amusing that Zin is betting against you, but he's deferring to your boss, which is Rahal. So it's like he'll take your bet. If Warwick's still standing at the beginning of round 4, you lose, I win. Darga will bet you 500 creds. Your bet with Frank is a separate bet.
Just a question. Is anyone keeping their comm link open to Merrick during this entire time?
Absolutely. Comm links are always open. That's just a default setting.
We usually say I call Poser on the comm or whatever, so if you just want to like click them open or like do the thing where you tap and everyone gets like a phone call, and then you just hear everybody talking, that's fine. From now on, comms are open. Now, I will give you this, Merrick. While they were talking, right, you guys were suiting up and just coming out. So you guys are like literally just kind of walking out into position and just starting to kind of like itch and scratch and look at each other and look up,
What do I see Warwick holding?
He's carrying a heavy blaster pistol and some kind of spiky thing in one hand, but he's holding it flat like he's also trying to carry something cylindrical.
Okay, on my way out, like past, there's a row of melee weapons, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I want to stop by, like, and one of the larger weapons, like, yes, this was... And then I look over...
There's like vibro axes, and they're all like there's archaic weapons, but there's also like, I wouldn't say good grade, cheap Kmart versions, but there are vibro weapons. Swords, axes.
And this is all what I think something Merrick would do, but you'd let me know if this works. He just, as he's looking by the weapon rack, he sees just one of those, like, those random pipes just kind of go through a wall.
Beside the rack.
Yeah.
He just grabs this big pipe. It's bigger than any of the weapons there, and he wants to rip that off of the wall and drag that out instead.
Remind me 3 sessions later, as like so they're all tell Darga that the reactor coolant is leaking and we need to evacuate. Starts leaking coolant into the room and builds up slowly. 24 hours later,
Poor place to put an essential piece of mechanical stuff right in the middle of a battle arena.
Oh, it's just a pipe that runs, from where it's supposed to vent in the ceiling all the way into the basement where the core is. Goes right through this room.
Now it vents here.
That is events here.
Darga turned this into a locker room. Perhaps it was just a boiler room before or whatever. You never know.
Fair enough.
I say America's unconsciously making bombs without even knowing. It's brilliant.
So subconsciously, he can't even help himself. All right, so after Darga does his spiel, I'll bet you 500. Rahal gives him the squirrely eye.
Okay, so
I will take that bet. Spits on this.
You're betting Frank 3, and that's going to be 100 to you. And you're betting Darga 3, that's going to be another 500 to you. But if he goes 4, you're going to owe Darga 500. And if he goes 5, you're going to owe Frank 100.
It's separate.
So what happens between you and Zin if he goes 4 and then he puts him down?
Ooh, well, then I would say that would be a split wager. No one wins. It'd be a draw. If he goes in the 4th round, it's a draw.
Okay. Now you also talked to Zin about like getting out in the balcony, and you see Zin kind of like pull out, the rangefinder. Doesn't pull out his gun, but like the little scope, he just kind of pops it up to an eye and catches some ranges and stuff. Was there more to that? You actually want him to, like, right in front of everybody, just pull out the ex-wife and start
No.
making things interesting?
But they did say no rules.
Yeah, down there. If you just, like, assassinate him from up here because he's, ding.
So I'll turn, give Darga the squirrely eye, spit on my hand. I'll take that bet, Your Eminence, and reach out towards him just to see.
I could see this playing out, that, like, depending on how entertaining it was, and then he just caps him at the end, so that we save Merrick, and Warwick's like, any last words? And ding, his head explodes. Sure. Like I said, in this, anything's possible. I wouldn't want to, just wanted to make sure. Your betting's in. Are you, like, back out on there with your rangefinder, or are you just getting out there, like, we're about to begin combat. Rahal's kind of in place talking to the big guy because you're the boss. What's Zin doing?
I'm kind of moving off to the corner of the balcony just so I can make sure that I can keep an eye on what's going on up here and what's going on down below, because I'm kind of getting a weird vibe from the new guy on the balcony.
Okay, sure. All right. As for initiative for Warwick, you got 17,
Correct.
did you?
Yeah.
Big guy? You go
Of
first.
course. All right.
Round 1.
So first, I would just want to pantomime, and I point at him, point at his head, and I'm pointing at the pipe that I've dragged out with me, and I point up.
You're like doing the
Yeah.
Babe Ruth. Knock you out of the park.
That's great.
Okay. Dark. Meanwhile, up in the booth, Dark is like stroking his chin again, like one sort of ridge. He doesn't really have eyebrows, but you have that one ridge goes up. Like, this is interesting. Okay. So you're gonna blow your turn just doing this?
Oh, is that my whole turn?
We'll say that's a move action. We'll say it's swift action for the implication, move action for you still have a bit of an action left. What do you want to do?
All right,
right?
and we don't move diagonals, correct?
There's a lot of controversy about diagonal, but then you get into like going over soft terrain or difficult terrain, and then there's going over going over like doing something like trying to withdraw and on. So
That's not me. Oh, sorry. That's
I've got it set to like Pathfinder 3 point whatever. I set it to squares so it looks like Star Wars, but
okay. So I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
okay. So you kind of like strafe to the right and line up a rock.
Yeah.
Now the arena itself is dirt, and it is a good 15, 30, 45, good 60, 50, 60 in the middle. It's got about a good 110 across, and that's like a 2/3 of the length. And there's giant boulders, 15 foot wide and long and tall, and then little rocks and stuff. So you're lining yourself up with the one rock and closing on it for a little cover. So I'm assuming that he can't just sort of pop off a shot too early and go surprise, right?
He looks like he'd shoot prematurely.
Oh well, there's medicine for that. If you want to go to the the Galactic Clinic, we have stuff for that. Just saying. I believe you guys are about 15, 20 feet in the air, like the proverbial second story, right? So let's say
Is
your
it
boots
open
are
air or
technically
enclosed?
15-ish feet. It's
What's
open
the
air.
weather like today?
It's hot. No, actually, it's kind of windy out here. It's hot because of your altitude, but because of the winds. Remember that, the con going on about the misty China. There's a wind, but there's an enclosure. Like there's high walls around the arena and stuff to like break the wind. If you got something up above that wall, like a kite or something, it would just like, that kind of thing. I wouldn't say strong wind, but it's noticeably,
How high is that wall?
The wall itself?
Yeah.
I'd say it's a good 40 feet.
Look down at my scope, give it one click to take into account barometric pressure.
I think we're going to add Frank into this. I'm just saying, Frank, you want to give me an initiative just in case, you want to do, because you're our action guy, right? Give us an initiative roll there, Frank, just in case you need to. Actually, you know what? Sorry. If you do something to take initiative, then we'll add you because you'll be like, I do something now, right? So, but I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to tempt you, but that's good. Just he's sitting there dialing up the viewfinder, right? Okay. So you move. That's you. And now we've got Warwick. Okay. So as a move action, all right. Like I said, he was carrying stuff, and now so time's gone by and you're pointing or whatever. He pockets, the balls, has this like little club over his shoulder, and he's got his gun in his good hand, and you strafe right, he strafes right as well, and he comes up to
by the way, I looked it up. Diagonal is double movement, so it takes like two of your 6 movement just to move a single diagonal square.
Thank you.
So 2, 4, 6, and yeah, I'm good. That's one round. Merrick, round 2. What do you do, buddy?
Go move this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Oh, okay. I keep moving forward there, keeping a rock between me and Warwick. But
Okay. So you're looking to strafe diagonally to the right
To
keep
the left.
this rock between you, or try to to the left. Okay.
Shimmy to the right,
All right, so move
shimmy to
your
the
guy.
left. Yep. Moved on up. I just want to get an eyeball on the line between us, if one such exists.
Well, you could come to this square here and have a line shot. A little bit
Yeah,
of cover.
but I'm out of movement. Yeah, that's a lot of cover between me and him.
But if you aim, it negates all cover, right?
Yeah, but that's a swift aim,
True,
right?
several, but you're allowed to start your swift aiming at the end of a round and stack it into the next round. So that at the very end of next round, you get your shot off, you know what I mean?
Huh. It's very uncommon to what Merrick does. Aim.
You want to shoot him or not?
Yeah. So I've done one move. I'll use a swift and a standard to stack up my 2 aims. Because it's 3 swift aim, right?
2. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to shoot in the same.
Okay.
Like if you stand there and take 2 swift to aim, you can fire at the end as your standard. So I think it's only 2. Keeps you from moving, but it doesn't. You don't like lose an entire round setting up the aim. What I'm saying is because you moved, you
Yes.
can spend your next 2 actions swift aiming so that you can open next round with a shot. And
Yeah, I'll do that.
I believe that's how it goes. Aiden, can you double check that? Yeah. All right. Okay. So you get in position, you begin aiming.
Yeah.
Okay. It's my go. Right from where I am, I burn 2 swift to aim and shoot you now. I am not, my life's on the line. I must, nothing personal. He's got to do what he does.
And he's using a pistol?
Yeah, I own a blaster. You guys took it, and then they get there, and yeah, okay. So,
Pew pew.
9.
Swing and a miss.
Point blank shot on a blaster pistol is 20 squares, which you are within, yeah?
Yeah.
That's 10.
No.
Okay, I tried.
You
I did. I tried. Okay. So that's me. Here we are. Round 3.
Shoot.
I'll turn and look at the hut. Interesting choice of weapon for your gladiators. You should have somebody looking into upgrading those. Got some better blaster pistols in the ship, don't we? Be able to... I know. And I'll go back to casually watching the fight again.
And round 3, brap. I believe is what you said, Mr. Merrick.
Prap. Very
Oh,
simple.
sorry. Prep. My mistake.
It's okay. You gotta make sure the accent's correct. So yeah, I give him a little taste of Sasha. Lined up and fire. Attack of 22.
Oh, so close. I mean, with all the extra things and the blood. Yeah.
Damage of 13.
Damage of 13. Funny story. No one patched me up from the fight.
I was holding off.
It's
on
like
saying
there's no
anything. I
way he
knew
has
that
his
too.
30 hit points. It's like, did you guys actually nail Connor during that fight when you play it? Because it's like, damn it, I was so careful tracking everyone's damage and just thought Warwick was just like done for the day. And then we get to this and I'm like, crap, did he actually get shot? I don't think he did. Because he
Shoot, I actually don't remember.
yeah, like I think you guys went through all of the dudes and then got to him. So, well, for argument's sake, maybe Leth, hey guys, I know I patched up work, and Leth's like, it's all right. Saw to all the patients, right? No, actually, while you're down there, Leth, did you patch him up?
I don't believe I did patch up Warwick while I was down there, so no.
I'll give this poor schmuck a percentage chance that somebody. Because when we went from like kill him to like gladiator fight, then somebody on hand's probably down there going, here, we want you to live, make it a good show. Yep. And we heard you. And percentage says no one else did, so he's not at full. But I have more than 13. I know that. So, ouch. And my turn. Yeah, like pretty much a hunker down. He'll aim negate, Oh, sorry, Merrick, you still have movement stuff.
Yeah, but if I don't move, I can maintain my aim, can't I?
You have to re-aim.
Okay.
You shot, you can go aim. So what do you do for the rest of this round? If you want to double swift to get your aim back up, sure. If you want to move so he can't shoot you.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll move further behind this rock, just to my left.
Okay. Yep, take full cover, and now I can't even see it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now you're blind. And who knows where I'm going to go, because you can't see me. So now I get to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm somewhere. Now everybody can see him. You guys can see Warwick, right? But Merrick can't. Rahal, you just lost the bet.
Yes, I did.
It's round 4. And you see Merrick, hug a rock and lose sight of his guys.
I will make sure that I radio his location.
Okay. I'm not gonna show you the mini, but I will show you that. Can you guys see this? Oh, I guess not. Sorry. Try this ping on the proper layer. Zin says he's behind the rock here. It's where he tells you he went.
Yep.
Not that rock, your other rock. Well, this rock?
I'll tell Merrick, flank left at your 11 o'clock.
There you go. He claims he went behind that rock. Merrick, it's your turn.
I'd like to fire up the old jetpack.
Ooh.
And move 6 squares straight up.
Okay. Yeah. 6 straight up is enough to see over even if this thing's like 10 feet high or whatever. You can see the, upper half of them at least.
And then shoot down at him.
Okay. Now, I get cover. But at least you can see him.
So he's hugging the rock?
Yeah, 1 second here.
Rock hugger.
Yeah, he goes 1 move to here, and then Buddy, gets him, tells you where he is, and he uses his 2nd move to, he's, right up on it. He posts on it.
Oh.
What'd you get?
11.
Sorry, no. So now I start taking fire at the top of the rock. Ping, ping! And he's looking all around. Anyway, he leans out and looks and doesn't see you behind a rock and then sees you in the air. So I'm going to burn a move on a perception check. Yes, I do see you. So I lean out. Hi there.
Hello.
And, yeah, actually, sorry, I guess I don't have to lean out. I try and figure out where you are and see you, but I burn a movement action to perceive. There you are. So he just raises his gun, shoots back at you, and you're out in the open. 13 plus 6 is 19. What is your flying around reflex, sir?
19.
Oh, I just nick you. I just nick you.
It was a flesh wound.
Now, I'm enjoying my galactic dice, but I will show you damage dice on here. 13 points, sir.
High game.
Does that beat your threshold?
No.
No. Take 13 points of damage, Merrick. On your mini. Round 5. Zin, considering your bet was for $100 at the last round, I'm kind of surprised you gave away his position.
I know how tough it is to shoot people at range. I figured give a couple rounds to get close and then whack him, but hey.
2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah.
If I'd anticipated this cat and mouse game, I'd have gone for a little longer.
Well, it's round 5. If he can live by the end of this round, then you get your money. Anyway, Rahal already owes Darga $500. Sorry, credits. Merrick, it's round 5. It's your go. You take a hit, and you're wavering in the air. Ow. Can I have a piloting check, please?
Sure.
You took damage. You want to fly around. You want to hover. You want to, stay stable. You react, and you twitch your body in pain that causes you to drift
21.
at it,
And I use that, and I just drift to the right.
No problem. Okay. Feel free to slide.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Moving, strafing to hopefully negate his cover. And light him up.
You want to negate his cover, go up. Height, because I'm hugging the rock, will do you better than moving sideways, because you're still going past the edge top of the, you know what I mean? Get yourself more height.
Okay.
And have a steeper angle down on him. That will help with the cover.
I strafe right to the earth.
You mean to the stratosphere?
Correct. If ground is my left and the stratosphere is my right.
Yeah, if you want to go up and forward to get a steep angle down on him, that will help negate cover.
Okay. I do exactly that.
So I'm saying if your intention is to negate cover, then going
Cover negated.
1, 2, 3. Let's say like 3 forward and 3 up. You're kind of going on that angle kind of thing.
Well, that put me like 45 feet up in the air.
Yeah. There's no rule of saying you can't go higher than the walls. Just don't go out of view. You know, like if they can't see you, there's no show. So no one's bitching yet anyway.
20.
20 to hit, yes.
12 damage.
Ow. He goes down. Now, we were talking about lethal and non-lethal. He was to be punished, right? I'm assuming all this damage has been lethal.
Well, no one's doing subdual damage at this distance.
Okay. You shoot him. He falls to the ground.
But you're saying he had subdual damage on him before?
No. I'm asking. I totally forgot we were discussing it off air about this. It was like, no one told Merrick to like hold back. You guys have been. He's been shooting real blasters at you, man.
Real lasers.
You took real damage. You took real damage. Anyway, another 12 on top of the 13 is a total of 25 points of my, rough and tough 30 that I had. Might have taken a hit or whatever. So he, not to mention they beat him a little in the dungeon, right? So he's taken some. Anyway, he falls to the ground unconscious.
Yep. Oh, nice shot, Merrick. Ha ha.
So, is there if there's a crowd, I'll do a little victory lap.
Zin, you just lost $100 to Rahal because he didn't make it to round 6. He didn't last 5 rounds. He got dropped in the 5th round. So, Matt, you owe Darga 500 credits. Zin, you owe your boss 100 credits. And this guy is down. Anyway, everyone looking at Darga. Right?
What?
And Darga doesn't look very overly pleased or entertained. I mean, 2 guys came out, took shots, right? Ooh, jetpack. That's interesting. And then he immediately just went and just took him out. So I was like, Anyway, everyone's waiting, watching. And then out comes the big 3-fingered hand and the thumb, bejeweled, and tilts down. Caesar says, kill him, finish him kind of thing. So there's Darga with his hands out, looking up at the sky at Merrick, pointing down.
Okay, I still have my...
He understand what this mean?
So there's like, all of a sudden, TC-66 goes over to the balcony, pulls a switch out of his chest, and plugs it into a jack, and then blaring over speakers over the whole arena, you hear, Lord Darga has decided that you must finish him!